Welcome to the Brain Blueprint. I'm your host, and today we are diving into a topic that is quite literally the foundation of everything you are. We're talking about the first 5 years of life. Now, stop right there. If you think this is just about parenting tips, you're missing the bigger picture. Did you know that by age 3, a child's brain is already 80% of its adult size? By age 5, it's 90%. We often tell parents in the U.S. to toughen them up or let them cry it out to build independence. But science is now telling us that this common advice is actually causing negative consequences we never expected. In high-performing cultures like those we see in certain parts of Scandinavia, or even specialized developmental hubs in places like San Francisco, they do the exact opposite. They prioritize deep, responsive attachment over independence training. And the results? Those children show significantly higher emotional intelligence, better academic performance, and lower rates of anxiety in adulthood. Today, we're going to look at why love isn't just a feeling. It's a biological necessity, a nutrient for the growing brain. Let's look at the scary problem first. Roughly 40% of children in the United States lack what psychologists call secure attachment. That is a staggering number. Only a small fraction of parents truly realize that failing to provide a responsive emotional environment leads to permanent structural changes in the brain. Imagine you're at a park in Chicago. You see a toddler who has fallen. He looks up at his dad, eyes wide, lip trembling. Situation 1. The dad is on his phone. He doesn't look up. He says, "You're fine, get up, don't be a baby." The child's brain is flooded with cortisol, the stress hormone. Because the serve of the child's cry wasn't returned with comfort, the brain learns that the world is indifferent. Situation 2. A mom in a busy Manhattan grocery store. Her 4-year-old is overwhelmed by the lights and noise. She snaps, "Stop embarrassing me! If you don't shut up, we're leaving." The child learns that their big emotions are a threat to their safety, to their connection with the caregiver. Situation 3. A caregiver in a suburban home who is physically present but emotionally flat. When the baby giggles and points at a bird, the caregiver just sighs and looks away. If these situations sound familiar, you are not alone. Millions of parents fall into these traps because of stress or how they were raised. But here is why it backfires. When we prioritize compliance over connection or silence over soothing, we aren't building a strong child. We are building a stressed brain.
What happens biologically?
First, the amygdala, the brain's alarm system, becomes hyperreactive. Second, the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for logic and impulse control, fails to develop strong connections. Third, the hippocampus, the memory center, can actually shrink due to chronic stress. Over time, this creates adults who struggle with focus, adults who can't regulate their anger, and adults who find it impossible to trust others. Why is this so urgent? Because we are in the golden window. Between birth and age 5, the brain is creating 1 million new neural connections every single second. This means that every time you soothe a crying infant, you are literally weaving the fabric of their emotional resilience. Think of it like building a skyscraper in downtown Los Angeles. If you pour the foundation with cheap, cracked cement, it doesn't matter how beautiful the penthouse is, the whole thing is at risk when the earthquake hits. Love and attachment are that cement. A massive study from Harvard University found that children who had a secure base, meaning at least one adult who was consistently responsive, were 50% more likely to graduate college and 30% less likely to suffer from chronic heart disease later in life. Connection isn't just nice, it's a survival mechanism. So, what is the exclusive solution? In the world of developmental neuroscience, we call it serve and return. It was popularized by the Harvard Center on the Developing Child. It's based on the attachment theory of John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth. The goal is simple: to create a brain-building interaction. It has 3 core principles. Principle 1. Notice the serve. When a child looks at something, makes a sound, or cries, they are serving a ball to you. Principle 2. Return the serve. Acknowledge it with a look, a word, or a touch. Principle 3. Keep the volley going. Wait for their response. Let's compare. Wrong way. The child points at a dog. You say, "Yeah, a dog. Now put your shoes on." The child thinks, "My interests don't matter." Right way. The child points at a dog. You say, "Oh, you see that big brown dog? He has a waggy tail, doesn't he?" The child thinks, "The world is exciting, and my parents see me." This method is effective because of two mechanisms. First, oxytocin. When you engage in serve and return, both your brain and the child's brain release oxytocin, the cuddle chemical. This counteracts cortisol. It literally bathes the brain in a protective layer that allows neurons to grow. Second, myelination. When an interaction is positive and repeated, the brain coats those neural pathways in myelin, making them faster and stronger. You are literally making your child smarter by loving them. Let's look at the scientific evidence. The Minnesota study of risk and adaptation has followed people for over 40 years. They found that children who were securely attached at 18 months were significantly more likely to have successful marriages and better jobs in their 30s. Group A, who were raised with tough love or neglect, had a 60% higher rate of behavioral issues in school. Group B, the securely attached group, showed a 75% higher rate of social competence. Dr. Dan Siegel, a clinical professor of psychiatry at UCLA, says, "The way we are seen by our parents becomes the way we see ourselves." Now, I want to give you a detailed 4-week guide to transforming your child's brain. This isn't just theory, this is a checklist. Before you start, you need a mindset shift. The old belief was, I need to control my child's behavior. The new belief is, I need to connect with my child's brain. Week 1, the awareness phase. Your goal this week is just to notice. Stop fixing, just watch. How many times a day does your child serve a ball to you? Most parents realize they miss about 70% of these serves. When you catch yourself about to say, "Not now," or "Be quiet," just stop. Take a breath. Look at them for 3 seconds. That's it. You'll feel uncomfortable. You'll feel like you're wasting time. But that discomfort is the feeling of you breaking a generational cycle of neglect. Your mantra, I see you. Week 2, the return phase. This week, use the formula notice plus label. Example, if the baby drops a spoon, don't just pick it up. Say, "Oh, you dropped the spoon." Clatter, clatter. If a 4-year-old is building blocks, don't say, "Good job." Say, "You're building a very tall tower with the blue blocks." Be specific. Avoid vague praise like, "Nice." By day 5, you will see your child's eyes light up more often. They are feeling felt. Week 3, emotion coaching. Now, we tackle the hard stuff, the tantrums. When they scream because they can't have a cookie, don't punish the emotion. Use the name it to tame it technique. Say, "You are really frustrated right now because you want that cookie, and I said no. It's hard to wait, isn't it?" This teaches the prefrontal cortex to calm the amygdala. You are literally wiring their emotional regulation system. A common mistake here is saying, "You're okay." They aren't okay. They are mad. Validate the feeling, even if you don't change the rule. Week 4, scaffolding independence. Now that the connection is strong, we build autonomy. Instead of doing everything for them, ask open-ended questions. What do you think will happen if we put the big block on top? How should we solve this messy room problem? By moving control to them, you are developing their executive function. This is the CEO of the brain. They stop being dependent and start being thinkers. Let's integrate this into a daily routine. In the morning, instead of rushing them, spend 5 minutes just cuddling. The 5-minute connection. At dinner, instead of "How was your day?" try "What was something that made you laugh today?" At bedtime, the most critical time, This is when the brain processes the day. Use the low-high buffalo game. What was your low? What was your high? And what was something buffalo? Just weird or random? Remember, the problem isn't that we don't love our children. The problem is that our busy, modern lives in cities like Chicago or LA often prevent that love from being communicated in a way the brain can use. 90% of people will listen to this and think, I'll try that tomorrow. But the 10% who start today, who go home and really look into their child's eyes, they are the ones changing the future. Week 1. Just notice the serves. Week 2. Return them with labels. Week 3. Name the big emotions. Week 4. Ask, don't tell. Start today. Put the phone down. Get on the floor. Be present. In 10 years, you won't remember that email you sent, but your child's brain will remember the security you built. If you found this helpful, please share it with another parent who might be struggling. We are all in this together. See you in the next episode.